Mr. Chair, this is a resolution regarding makeup days due to inclement weather during the 2013-14 school year. Whereas the City of Virginia Beach has been impacted by an unusually high number of winter weather events between January and February 2014, which created road conditions deemed unsafe for the transportation of students and operation of schools, and therefore resulting in the closure of schools on January 22nd, 23rd, 29th, 30th, and 31st of 2014. And whereas on February 5th, 2013, the school board adopted a 2013-14 school year calendar, and that calendar designated makeup days for January through June of 2014 to be January 24th, March 28th, March 29th, May 26th of 2014. And whereas 2 of the total of 5 days lost due to school closures were made up on Friday, January 24th, and Saturday, February 15th. The superintendent has designated Friday, March 28th, Saturday, March 29th, and Friday, March 28th, Saturday, March 29th, and Saturday, April 26th as the makeup days for the additional 3 days lost due to school closures. And whereas the superintendent acted within the policies and calendars adopted by the school board in setting a schedule of makeup days for days of schools were closed, and students, staff, and their families responded to the makeup schedule with admirable dedication and understanding regarding the value of education, along with their concern regarding lack of flexibility within the school calendar for school closures due to inclement weather. And whereas the school board has considered the necessity of utilizing Saturdays for making up days and the impact that holding school on Saturdays has on students, staff, their families, and the community, and seeks alternate methods to address the school calendar for the remainder of the 2013-14 school year. And whereas the policies and calendars adopted by the school board include 3 additional days and a significant amount of instructional time beyond the minimum required by the Commonwealth of Virginia, with the exception of clock hours required for high school credit courses. And whereas the Virginia Board of Education allows for the superintendent to recommend students in high school credit courses be allowed to demonstrate mastery of course objectives, sit for standards of learning assessments, and receive course credit without meeting the clock requirement. And whereas the Virginia Board of Education allows the school board to request a waiver of certain graduation requirements as needed. And whereas the makeup days held on January 24th and February 15th of 2014, in combination with the remaining days as originally designated in the 2013-14 school calendar, will allow Virginia Beach City Public Schools to meet the requirement for 180 instructional days and 990 hours required by the Commonwealth of Virginia. And whereas the school board has determined that makeup days for the 3 closed days of January 22nd, 30th, and 31st are not necessary, the superintendent makes appropriate recommendations regarding high school credit courses, and any required waivers are sought for any lost required clock hours. And now, therefore, it is resolved that the school board affirms its commitment to providing a quality education to all students while also recognizing the impact of the makeup schedule on students, staff, their families, and the school board directs the superintendent to cancel all remaining makeup days scheduled. And the school board directs the superintendent to hold all employees harmless for additional days not made up, to recognize the commitment of our employees who so often go above and beyond the call of duty and contractual time to provide quality education and services to our students. And the school board directs the superintendent to recommend that students in high school credit courses be allowed to demonstrate mastery of course objectives, sit for standards of learning assessments, and receive course credit without meeting the clock hour requirement. And the school board shall request waiver of the clock hour requirement associated with graduation requirements of the Virginia Board of Education as needed. And the school board shall reopen discussion of 2014-15 school calendar to address the need for flexibility within the extended instructional year for closures due to inclement weather, guidelines for the selection of makeup days, and clock hours for high school credit courses. And the school board designates Friday, March 28th and Monday, May 26th as initial makeup days for any further closings before June 2014 that would result in the number of instructional days for the 2013-14 calendar to drop below 180. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be spread across the official minutes of the school board. Let me begin. Sorry.
Need to get a second, then.
Oh, please.
Thank you, Mrs. Anderson. Mr. McDonald.
Thank you. I apologize. Let me begin by saying that I know and I empathize with my colleagues right now. As a matter of procedure and professional respect, we as a board function with this rule in mind: no surprises. It's rare that a member of this board adds something not previously discussed to the agenda. To my colleagues who are not happy with my introducing this resolution in the way that I have, I am sincerely sorry. However, I also believe that there are times when the weight of an issue must be cause for discussion and possible action in a timely manner. We have heard from our community regarding the current makeup schedule. While there are many who support making up all days scheduled for this school year, there were many more who did not. If nothing else, I believe that we as a board owe it to them to have an open discussion on this issue at this time. I want to be crystal clear at the start of this discussion that, as evidenced by my conversations with my colleagues on the board, that this board has the utmost respect and confidence in Dr. Magula as our superintendent. This resolution should be thought of in no way a course correction from the decisions that Dr. Magula has made. Our superintendent made tough decisions based on policies and calendars which this board adopted. She was following our direction and making the best decisions within those guidelines we gave her. Since the announcement of the decision, Dr. Magula, you have been the target of unwarranted criticism, and I am sincerely sorry for that. For me, the issue is this. We have policies and calendars which do not allow flexibility for closures due to inclement weather, which also extend the school year beyond the minimum number of days and instructional hours, and increase the likelihood that decisions regarding makeup days will cause significant disruptions in our school community. Instructional time is valuable. This resolution is not about not valuing instructional time. We have seen many excellent examples of great instruction that happened on Saturday. While there was value in that there is value in that instruction. A good friend of mine relayed to me everything her class did on Saturday. It was impressive. It was so impressive, I wish I were in that class. However, in closing her message, she wrote that as great as the day had been, we should find ways of not making up days on Saturday. This is one example of the many dedicated teachers who rose to the occasion of going above and beyond to make Saturday a makeup day successful and valuable for the students who attended. But it's also an example of someone who recognizes the disruption that Saturday makeup day had for her, her students, and their families. I'm all about going above and beyond on instructional days and time. However, when you factor in the disruption Saturday makeup days has on the many enriching activities that our students, staff, and their families take part in on Saturdays, I believe we must consider alternatives and additional flexibility in our calendar. Our staff rose to the occasion, as they always do. I am in constant awe of the dedication of our employees to provide the best education and services to our students, so often going above and beyond. I have every confidence that they will rise to the occasion in meeting the needs of our students instructionally with the remaining school days and time left in place with this resolution. If I thought for one moment that students would be harmed by not making up the 3 additional days in our calendar, I would not be presenting this resolution. It has been frequently said that Virginia Beach City Public Schools is not a division of minimums. I agree. However, I believe that the additional time is only a fraction of what makes that statement true. It's our amazing people. I believe they will rise to the challenge.